Ahmarine was the Deputy Country Director of the World Food Programme.
Thank you all. Good afternoon. Really happy to see all of you here. I think some of us were around when we started this journey about 6 months ago. And really, it was fun at that time to see how can we have young entrepreneurs come together and bring ideas that would solve the gaps in Rwanda's food system. We knew that they were good ideas, but what we weren't sure about, what was the enabling environment like? So really, today we are going to see how these we had 12 finalists, if you all remember, and we chose 6. And these 6 have come far on a journey to actually see how they can support Rwanda's economy, how can they meet the gaps in the food systems, and of course, look at how we can find resilience to food systems, to the climate shocks that we have. And it's one of those things that, for me, when I reflect back on the ventures that presented themselves, it was like, okay, wow, you have so many good ideas. You have ideas from using maggots for organic fertilizers, you have food production, aflatoxin, and transport and logistics. So this is where today we see how everything comes together. I don't want to take too much of your time, but I did want to really mention the fact that this is something both for the government of Rwanda and for the World Food Programme. We need to make sure that we have sustainable food systems. And this is where all of these ventures, the 6 who will present themselves today and their journey, and where they have gone from a small enterprise to taking it forward to, I've been listening to some of the stories. I hope you guys also saw the different YouTube videos, and I'm sure they'll be talking about their journey. But it's really fascinating and really exhilarating. So for me, with that, I do really want to welcome all of you here together, and I thank you for being here on time, and we want to start and make sure we can do this together. Thanks very much. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I will now invite Alejandro, who's the business lead and the program oversight from Impact Hub Kigali.
Okay. Thank you very much, Sandra. And thank you very much, Ahmarine, for the words. I think you have said it all. We started the journey March 2022. It's almost 10 months. And it feels like it was 2 weeks ago. There were 12 startups pitching, convention center, all this craziness. Now we selected 6 that day, went through a journey of 6 months of acceleration, technical support, financial support. And now we're seeing a different venture that joined the program. So I would just like to start the program with Sandra, show you the journey. Before that, I would like to thank the partners that made this possible, USAID, WFP, and the Danish Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Thanks to them, we made this possible. I also like to thank all the mentors, coaches, technical support, and Impact Hub Kigali team that has been running the program for the last 10 months. Thank you.
Thank you, Alejandro. I'm going to give a quick presentation of what the journey has been like for the entire program, also looking at the venture's perspective. Perfect. I would like to start with a background of the program. The Ignite for Systems Challenge is an initiative that's been supporting startups, SMEs, and cooperatives in Rwanda, particularly those that are contributing towards food security to scale their solutions. We've mentioned the partners we've been working with, and this support was a 6-month technical support that was also accompanied by a total of $300,000 in financial support. The targeted solutions that we were looking at included access to safe and nutritious food, improved supply chains, and so many more that I mentioned. Looking at the program layout, the program was running 3 different phases. The first phase was the application phase, where we did a broad call for applications, as well as the selection process. The second phase is the pre-acceleration phase, where there was a deep dive due diligence, the bootcamp training, pitch preparation, and a pitch day. The last phase is the 6-month acceleration phase, where there was a diagnostic tool and a scaling roadmap that informed the curated technical support that was given to the ventures, as well as the financial support, and the wider pitch preparation to prepare the ventures to pitch at the pitch day. At the pitch day, 6 ventures were selected, which we are going to hear from today. And out of these 6, we had 3 startups, 2 SMEs, 1 cooperatives. The sectors within the food systems that these companies operate in are transport and logistics, food production, agribusiness, and animal farming. Looking at the acceleration phase as a whole, this was what their journey looked like. We started with a curation of packages using the business diagnostic tools and the scaling roadmap, as well as the financial support of up to $50,000 per venture. With this, we had individualized coaching, expert support, master classes, trainings, peer session, mentor support, events, and a community practice, and the demo day, which is why we're here today. The first step within the acceleration was the curation of packages. Each venture filled in a business diagnostics to identify the key areas that they wanted to work on. But those were evaluated looking at the impact model, the business model, the growth strategy, and the scalable operations. This business diagnostic is what informed the scaling roadmap. Impact Hub Kigali and expert support defined and evaluated this business diagnostic to identify the key milestones and looking at their financial plan and how the disbursements were going to be made. All these curated packages was what came out to the technical support and the financial support. These curated packages were implemented in 2 segments. There was the technical support, which involved individual coaching sessions, expert support, master classes, trainings, mentorship support, peer-to-peer support, and events. Support was up to $50,000. It was given looking at the disbursements through the milestones that each company achieved, as well as throughout the 6-month period. The technical support started where we assigned individual coaches to each venture. The areas in which these coaches had expertise in include innovation and tech, business development, agronomy, and impact strategies. There was also expert support that was provided to these ventures. Impact Hub Kigali engaged 15 plus experts within key areas that the ventures identified at the beginning. Some of these areas include financial management, logistics management, BSF West conversion, marketing and branding, and so many more. We also had 3 master classes. The first one was on impact measurement, where ventures were able to identify their impact measurement goals. The second was leadership and customer behavior, where they were able to understand their internal and external stakeholders. And the last one was investment readiness, that allows the ventures to create data rooms and also analyze what capital structure, even looking for investment beyond the program. The other thing was trainings. We had various trainings, bookkeeping trainings, taxation, financial management, hydroponic fodder best practices, black soja fly conversion. Part of the program is we also engaged 4 mentors within WFP who worked with the ventures. The key expertise that were engaged were in school feeding and nutrition, M&E, logistics, and smallholder agriculture market. In the program, we ventures in the cohort went through. These events included the Chogam Street Festival, the 15th National Agri Show, and the AGRF Summit. Another aspect of the program is the peer-to-peer support, where we allowed the ventures to exchange knowledge between themselves and also try to spark collaboration among them. Part of the program is also trying to build a food systems community of practice. Impact Hub Kigali curated events during the program to try to create a community of practice around strengthening food systems in Rwanda. Some of the events that were run through the program include combating food waste, circularity within food systems, and access to food. Looking at the program impact, ventures are contributing to. The first one is increased supply of organic fertilizer and hydroponic fodder to smallholder farmers, increased clientele, providing affordable transportation, which linked to a bigger impact of building the yield of smallholder farmers. The other is increased production of nutritious products, improved infrastructure, increased livestock and poultry feed, which contribute also to the reduction of malnutrition. And the other is also what we've seen in the program is some of the ventures have been able to grow their teams. This is contributing to employment opportunities within the country. increased transportation capacity and increased number of aflatoxin tests is contributing to enhancing farmers to be able to access the premium markets. Knowledge sharing and networking, training smallholder farmers on good agriculture practices, establishing new partnerships. These are all items that ventures are working on that are contributing to improving good agriculture practices. The last two, increased value addition for harvested products, increased transportation capacity, acquired preservation infrastructure. These are also contributing towards reducing post-harvest loss. And lastly, increased transportation capacity, increasing clientele, improved business operations, and branding and marketing are also contributing to the increase of revenues for the ventures that are in the cohort. We're about to show a highlight video that's going to do a recap of the acceleration journey. Please watch. Our supporters, the coaches, the experts, and the mentors, and of course our partners for making this possible, and thank you. Now the moment we've all been waiting for, the venture presentations. Each venture is going to have 10 minutes to present, and the rest invite Afla Kiosk to go first.
Thank you. My name is Aline Umwari. I'm representing Afla Kiosk, which is a mobile lab that helps farmers, traders to access the better market by understanding the quality. So consumers expect their food to be safe, but quality testing for staple crop is currently too expensive, inaccessible, and slow. 90% of maize sold to the market is untested and also at a lower price. 65% of maize tested has a high level of aflatoxin that cause cancers. And the total margin of our farmers and traders been spent for only one single test. We found maize flour, 42% of the sample tested has a higher level of aflatoxin. 90% of groundnut has also higher level of aflatoxin, which leads to the poor quality of final product. And our customers and consumers expect their food to be safe, which is not the case. Afla Kiosk came with a solution which are affordable, accessible, and quick to the testing of grains. We are 6 times cheaper than our competitors and 24 faster for our farmers and traders. Joining Ignite, we had 3 main goals, which is solidify our business model, increasing testing for maize-based product, and expanding operation to other grains. We succeed in solidifying our business model through the program. We had a session on marketing strategy and market profitability analysis that help us to the segment of customers, and we reach to the paying customer and setting a price. Through that, we developed the theory of change and the business model that help us to understand our model and look for the opportunities. Through that also, we engage with the government on the market profitability analysis. We found that we have to engage with the government by testing imports, and also in RSB designation certificate that will help us to be recognized not only countrywide, also in outside of the country. So we did the desk research with the expert in value chain analysis that help us to assess the farmers, the traders, if they really need our service. That reach us to go to the eastern province where they grow a huge quantity of maize. We succeed also by increasing testing of maize-based product. Through the financial support we got, we brought strips for testing flowers, maize, maize bran and feeds. And also through the leadership and communication session we engage with 100 processors and traders across the country, and also engaging with the WFP cooperative through HTML. And also, we succeed in expanding operations we had a target to increase and to go to testing peanut and sorghum. So we doubled our target through the financial supporting we got. We brought electric motorbike that help us to go around the market and bringing the samples that help us to double our target. Also through the exhibition like AGRIF Summit and Agri Show, we meet with the other demand for coffee. Rwanda was struggled to taste the coffee but to export to other countries. So also through the financial support, we brought strips for testing coffee, aflatoxin into coffee, which is called ochratoxin. And also through the summit, we met with the Rockefeller Foundation that is introducing whole grain flour for school feeding. We are now working with the Rockefeller Foundation for testing the whole grain. And we in our procurement of equipment to establish a new lab at Kayonza district. When we start, we was Benjamin, Aline, and Sarah, but then Fisto, Charis joined us as a field operator, is the one who walking around with the bike to collecting samples as a field operator. So through the impact measurement, the session we had to the date, we managed to link from 405 metric ton, 90% to 70%. And also through the testing, we have been engaging with the service, the improving service like Aflasite. We link 500 metric tons have been linked to Aflasite for quality improving service, and 25 COPs and traders have been trained for food safety practice. And so we hope 70% of grain, maize, sorghum, peanuts sold on the Rwanda market will be a crop like cassavas, expanding to regional like going to Kenya, and having a soil testing lab. Thank you.
Thank you, Ali. Thank you for the great presentation. We'll now take questions from the audience.
Testing, we want to expand to Kenya.
Okay, but that's different from the aflatoxin testing, or that's the same thing?
It's not the same thing. Soil testing lab.
That you were also working with Rakoff on coffee testing. So what exactly are you testing in that sense?
So also, coffee has aflatoxin. It's named ochratoxin.
Okay, that's new for me. Thank you.
Yeah, also in coffee there is, actually in all cereals there is a kind of aflatoxin. Yeah.
Hopefully I'm not.
Thank you for your presentation. Very amazing success and impact. I was wondering, you mentioned something about training, food safety, quality, etc., find samples of aflatoxin. Can you explain more about what you're doing in that topic, or are you working with other organizations on the training and food safety? Thanks.
Thank you. AflaKiosk has testing for aflatoxin and other parameters in grains, and also a part of this we have a training for farmers, traders, and also processors, how they can take care of the stores, how we assess first and we do coaching, how they can improve the storage so that they can not be contaminated by aflatoxin or weevils or other things. So a part of testing, we also follow up with them by training.
Thank you, Adeline, for the great presentation. I invite the next venture. We'll hear from Call Group.
Good afternoon, everyone. Are you hungry? People here are doing some noises. Maybe they are hungry. They are food somewhere. My name is Regis Omugiraneza. I'm director and co-founder at Car Group. We do process pastries, nutritious pastries, by using locally sourced ingredients such as sweet potatoes. So these past 6 months was so busy. I think it was one of the period that we were busy at Car Group since we started. And you see that eat well and live well actually came from the coaching session we had with someone within this program. I'm just going to take you through the whole journey with the program. We have did so many things, but I'm just going to highlight a few. Those are some of the problems that we are trying to contribute, not to solve because it's really big, but we want to contribute at least a small portion of it. When you look at the numbers, for example, in East Africa, we have more than 12.8 million children who are suffering from malnutrition. In Rwanda, we still have 33% of children who are in the food chain. We can't forget also the climate change. That's why you see those are the numbers we have with the climate change. And when you see down there, most of the time when you look at, for example, in Rwanda, when we are in the dry season, it's hard to get food. The prices of the food increase a lot. That was the East Africa and in Rwanda. But when you look at the whole continent, the number is so big. And when you look at, for example, the people who are suffering from food insecurity, 282 million, it's so huge number. And people are affected by climate change. But the crazy things in Africa, we are suffering, but also we have solutions just on our continent. That's why with the Car Group, we are trying to solve some of the problem and contribute to some of the issues that we raised here, because we realized that those problems mostly affecting children and women are caused by vitamin A deficiency, lack of accessibility and affordability of food, and of course there are different diseases such as anemia, stunting, diabetics, that most of the time they cause even the death. So what we are trying to do is to use locally sourced ingredients to produce that nutritious food. In Rwanda, we just import a flour called onjera. I don't know if you know it. It's micronutrient flour. And Rwanda spend more than 60 billion every year just to import that flour. And that flour composite of the vitamin A and the other micronutrient, which can be sourced from ingredients we already have here in Rwanda. So that's why we are trying to use what we already have to produce nutritious food without importing them. And what we are trying to do is to use locally made product to produce locally made product, of course, ready to eat, affordable, as well as nutritious food. Especially, we are focusing much on vitamin A. And all the products we are making, it comes from orange fresh sweet potatoes, which grown by almost more than 80% of the household in Rwanda. And also we are trying to make and use the climate resilient crop. You can grow sweet potatoes the whole year. So it's a climate resilient crop. It's easy to grow. Actually, when you look at the population, the people in the rural area, they are happy to grow sweet potato than any other crop, so which makes them, that's why most of the time when we are having crisis of food security in Rwanda, they directly grow the sweet potatoes in every corner of the country. So what we are trying to do is to adding value that sweet potatoes. We are trying to make also a zero waste business from the farm to the fork, where the bread we are making, if it's not sold, we bring back to the factory to dry it and make what we call breadcrumbs. So before we got technology to wash and peel the sweet potatoes, we were using a knife, and we were losing a lot of things. But now we have a machine that can peel and wash the sweet potato without removing a cover. It's just removing the small skin. So we are trying our best to make business. Of course, with no pollution. That's why we will see within this program, one of the machines we buy, we use gas instead of using charcoals or any other source of energy. So those are one of the products we are making. It's called Vita Bread, with more than 140% of vitamin A needed for children. And of course, for the adult people, it's even beyond that. And also, this is the biscuit we are trying to make from, we mix it with beans, eggs, and sweet potatoes, as well as flour, to make sure that we have all-in-one biscuit, which we have protein from eggs, iron from beans, carbohydrate from wheat, as well as vitamin A from sweet potatoes. Of course, we are targeting different customers, as well as children and mothers and the other people who have interest in nutritious food. So then we joined the program in March. To be honest, I remember that time was very hard at CAR Group. So we're suffering from coming from COVID effect. And then I was looking around and trying to get some money to invest in our company. And finally, I got the call from Ignite, and I applied through the whole process, and we get selected. So we had unbalanced equipment. So we were producing very few products because of unbalanced equipment. We have, of course, the raw capacity production, weak branding strategy, post-harvest losses, and I'm going to take you through how now we solved all of these challenges. So that's when we got the award, and the plan was to, first of all, to make sure that our product, to have a product strategy, including product registration, product diversification, market development, marketing, and supply chain development. So then we got different support from Ignite Food Systems, such as technical support and also financial support. So from a technical support perspective, first of all, we started with rebranding our packaging. So we realized that within our packaging, we're not informing the people why they should buy our bread, not the other bread. That's why we started first to rebrand and make our branding. So thank you to Ilum, we'll be able to design this new packaging, which inform people that we are producing very nutritious, very healthy product with raw gluten. And you know some people that gluten has some effect. And because of the crisis of Ukraine and Russia, import of wheat is now a big problem. So we are trying to use the lowest possible of wheat. That's why I wanted to even to let people that to know that we already have a raw gluten product as well as zero sugar product, because sweet potato has its own sugar. So yes, we did so many things within market development, product certifications. We already have a property right of our company logo. If you want to try to get that logo, you cannot make it. We're already protected because of the program. Yes, we participated in the program and the coffee and the tea plantations. We are working with NAEBO to make sure that this can be happen. And we want to establish in other provinces, as well as introducing our product, our high-value product that will be made from beans and sweet potatoes. So I'm here for you. Once you have a market for a product, please contact us. We are here for money. And there are products there if you want to test, to trust the quality I was saying. Please go there after this. And thank you so much. I'm here to welcome the questions.
The presentation will now take a couple of questions from the audience.
Thank you. a great presentation. I'm very curious. Your mission really seems to be tied to food security. And I'm curious if you have any strategy or plan on how you're targeting the most vulnerable. I would assume to a certain extent your product's still a luxury product.
Yeah. Thank you so much for that good question. When we were starting, we targeted middle class people. And we realized that the people who are in need and can get to SIP Center International. One of the things we are going to do is to, first of all, to cluster the value chain, because we want to build the value chain from scratch. Sweet potato was considered imperative in agribusiness to get their product on the market. And mostly, they usually face, they won't be able to figure out the right track. If they have 5 tons or if they have 100 tons, what's the right track? And also, on top of that, if they find the right track, they usually, when they usually face, they find that right track, they will get high prices, because this is a market where we have many independent people or drivers, so they will charge the amount they want, because depending also where they are. Because if someone is moving from the southern coming to Kigali, and you give him a delivery, he will charge you less than someone who's coming from Kigali to the southern and coming back. And also unreliable drivers, as I said, because they are like independent parties in this ecosystem, they usually, if they get a higher order, they will go for that one. Or someone who is paying higher than you, they will go for that one. And on top of that, cooperative and agribusinesses, they can't really afford to buy their own truck. Even if they can, when they get high demands, it's very expensive to buy another one of 50,000 or even 100,000. So what we are really like doing it at the moment, I mean on the side of agribusinesses and farmers, they usually rely on their personal contact. They know someone who knows someone who knows someone who has a truck, or even they need to go to visit where this truck park, and they need to negotiate with more than 100 or even 5 or 10 truck drivers. So what we are really doing is just we are helping increase this efficiency as well as reducing the cost of transport. The most important thing is because we want to increase the efficiency, where if a farmer or if an agribusiness need 10 trucks, it should be as seamless as possible. They don't need to know drivers. They don't need to know a lot of things about transport. They need just to get those trucks on their warehouse or their business. And also, we need to reduce the cost by 50%, and I will explain why 50%. So we are really, in general, we are connecting these farmers, cooperative, agribusinesses to nearby truck drivers ready to move their produce. And with this, they'll be able to access large pool of truck drivers. They won't rely on their network of truck drivers. They will rely on the overall network of truck drivers in their region, as well as they will be able to get quick pickup and delivery, because it's like they will be connected to nearby truck driver. And also, they will get connected to our vetted and professional drivers, where they don't need to face unreliable drivers or no show up for drivers. So how we are doing it usually, if a truck is moving from point A to point B and moving a produce of a farmer, usually we'll find a way to give him also the delivery on the way back. So that means someone who is ordering our truck, they will be responsible for paying one way instead of two way for the truck driver. In that case, we will be able to cut down the cost even on the side of the driver, the cost, because he will be paid by two people. And in this case, this will give us an advantage to give competitive prices, as well as be able to give flexible payment to our customers. So during the Ignite programs, the reason why we wanted to join, first of all, is that, as you can see, the solution is technology intensive. We needed to accelerate our product development, also get to know all the people in the agriculture ecosystem, so that we can know who's the right person or where the best part or the best area to start serving this solution. As well as also to help is the flexible payment of drivers, the customers,
agribusinesses and cooperative, we needed to increase our working capital because these drivers are like freelancers. So you need to pay them after delivery. And for customers or farmers, they really need to take some time because most of the time the money doesn't come from them directly, or sometimes they need to wait also for the customer to pay them. So our implementation plan was in 3 segments. So we wanted to start with our working capital. This will give us the capacity to be able to pay these drivers right away. And the most important thing is that if we can pay these drivers right away, they will be more attractive to our service. And they will also be able to give us low rate because we pay them after delivery instead of a week or 2 weeks. And also it will help us give a runway for these farmers or agribusinesses so that they can pay after some time. 1 week, 2 weeks maximum. And also we needed to put the word out there so that people like agribusinesses, these farmers, or even these NGOs helping farmers, so that they can know there is a company addressing this solution to the farmers. And as you know, farmers also, they are not technology savvy, so we needed also to find a way we can give them easy access to the service, the same way they could buy airtime. And also on our side, we needed the technology to help us put together that delivery, assigning multiple delivery to a driver, as well as give visibility to the driver by giving a driver app. And on top of that, also we realized data is the most important thing when you are in this business of making things efficient, also connecting different stakeholders in agriculture. So in this case, we needed to first visit different sites, also kind of like have information about the road condition, where our customers are, where the condition, like understanding their supply chain in general, like where they get their raw materials, who is their last consumer, how do they get from raw material processing and delivering, as well as also getting to reach out these drivers so that we can talk with them directly, say, hey, we have some customers who would like you to move things. Would you want to work with us? And then we can give you delivery every single day. So that was in our implementation plan. And through the Ignite programs, I will also be sharing you today what we are doing, the program enabled us to do, and at the stage we are at. I will start with the business. Most important last year, like when we got the financial support from the Ignite, we were able to double our revenue this year. And this was due to increasing working capital, helping us pay drivers right away. That means it attracted more drivers to our platform, as well as also being able to freely acquire as many customers as possible so that we can increase the revenue. So, and also another part we've got was the technical support, and most importantly, through seminars or mentorship program, we've been able to help our team and grow their skills and experience most of the time in terms like finance, like company structure, legal advices, as well as also some of our mentors even go a step further, sit down with us, help us like craft some sales strategy, marketing strategy, and they're also like hold us accountable to implement that as well. And also through this we've learned many things, like discovering we have different customers, different type of customers, that even if it's cooperative, there are different type of cooperative, the same way as agribusinesses. And they really helped us craft a different strategy for each one of them instead of having one that fits all of them. So through technology also we've been able to like have everything in one place where we can like get the statistic of everything going on in the business, the track request, getting to like have our own track request coming in, controlling documents, invoices, even having customers and drivers in one place so that it's easily even to assign a driver to a shipment request. And this really helped us automate our sales operation. You understand that we can now handle more than 100, 200 truck requests per day. So that means we can serve more than 100 customers. So we've also been able to expand our market through the existing one, or even expanding to other mode of the business, even some part of the province of Rwanda, especially the eastern. And it's really like helped us, as you saw, to boost our revenue and the growth as well. And also through this would not have been possible without the financial support, where we were able to hire strategic people on the team, especially on the finance team, marketing, as well as help developing the technology. And they are really excellent ones. Okay, and also on the part of the expansion after this program, what we really hope to achieve is that we realize the most important thing is just building a product that really serves a market really well. So that's why we wanted to start developing a customer-centered technology where we can help these farmers be able to get the best of the best transport rate, as well as get their product on the market or to their client as fast as possible. And also, this will really help us gain everything else remaining. So the most important thing was, above everything else, is just building a very customer-centered service or product in our case. So, and also customers are a big part, and that includes drivers as well. So we really need to bring as much as drivers on the platform so that we can drive these customers to our platform as well. And also, again, increasing the loyalty of your customers, and the best way to do that is just increasing your value proposition or providing the best service out there. And also we realize there is a potential for us to grow to other markets as well. So we realize some of the businesses we work, so especially those NGOs helping farmers, they're also helping farmers in other countries. For example, One Acre Fund, they were saying, hey, would you like to come with us in Dar es Salaam? We have new location we want to expand to. We are having the same problem as we have, and we think you can really help us get there as well. So it's something we realize which is a huge potential after we've built a good product here. So that's it. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Clet. We'll take some questions from the audience.
Thank you so much, Clayt, for your good presentation. This is very interesting and I'm intrigued. I just have a few questions. Do you have coal trucks? That's the first one. The second is, that means to transport perishable goods. I know you're already working with One Acre Fund, so I'd like to hear more about that. Second is, what has been your challenge to date to scale? Say you had all the money today you need, what would you do with that? And third is, no, just those two. Thank you.
Thank you so much for the question. I would start with the core truck. Yes, we have. And also we are having a challenge because we don't have enough network of them. So we have around 5, and you understand they are not enough to serve, especially even one company, which has perishable goods. But it's something we are looking into. And we realize the network of these ones are actually either businesses who have them, or 1 or 2 people who have them, and it's very hard to approach them because everyone is on them. So we are trying to see how we can increase that as well. So how we can, the most challenge we are having, for example, is that most of the time you would start with the drivers, and the most is it's kind of like a freelancing, right? So you understand customers really need more flexibility. For example, if they had 5 routes today and they want to change one of them, so they need that flexibility. And you understand if you are using freelancing drivers, you understand that's very hard to control, because if you give them from point A to point B, and today you want to change from point A to point C, it's going to be very hard. So that's what we want to bring. And we are trying different ways, and the challenge with that is because you need to have drivers trained also, because for us we want to move logistic to the technology part, because that's the way we can be able to do more things, or even be able to do things faster and cheaper. And as a driver, you need also to show them how do you verify your delivery notes, how do you upload them to the platform so that we can verify it. And also, once you've finished your roading and off-roading, like what are the required documents? So it's on the side of the training of the drivers. And another challenge would be mostly about like getting also to, so you understand here we are competing with, first of all, like the mode of buying your own truck, right? As well as some people who already have like 10 or 15 trucks. So for the one, if we are competing for businesses, they feel like it's more, they are more in control if they have their own truck. But also for us, we are trying to show them, hey, if you own your own truck, first of all, there is additional cost. Yes, you will save on the fuel, but there is additional cost like taxes. There is like fuel, of course. There is parking because if you go in somewhere, you need to park, and also you need to pay additional to someone who will be driving it. And at the end of the day, you also hire someone else to manage those trucks, which we are doing. And instead, we are saying, hey, can you come? We have network of truck drivers, and tap into that, and then we do everything else for you. So you just only have to pay for like the cost from point A to point B, other than all those additional costs. Yeah.
I thought I was missing a hand. Thank you, Colette, for the presentation. I will invite Moses from Mago Farm to give the next presentation.
Have an issue with the clicker.
So there you go. Just these white ones. All right. Good evening, everyone.
Sorry. Good evening, once again. My name is Moses Emmanuel Katala. I work with Mago Farm Limited. Mostly what keeps me busy on a daily basis with Mago Farm, I do business development, just provide general leadership for the company and fundraising. So it's a pleasure to take you through the presentation and what we've been up to for the past couple of months, and then take your questions. So I know not all of you know of what we're doing, so just to give you a bit of an introduction, what we essentially do at Mago Farm is we convert food waste from different sources, factories, households, restaurants, into two products, which I'll introduce you to in a split of a second. So the problem we're trying to solve at the moment is, if you look at from a macro global perspective, there's over 1.3 billion tons of food waste that is produced annually across different value chains within agriculture. And what this happens is that you have so much amount of this food waste being produced ending up in landfills, it causes landfill gas emissions. And with the current stats from World Bank, you will realize that on average, there's 50% of landfill gas emissions that are being contributed as a result of this food waste. So what we try to do within Mago Farm is we collaborate with an insect species called the black soldier fly. And with this insect species, we're able to transform food waste into organic fertilizer and protein biomass. Now, with that introduction, I hope you have a brief understanding of what we do, so I will not bore you with the pitch anymore. So I'll just walk through the journey, how it was, and some of the things we're able to do. So one thing we had in mind when we were beginning the whole process was to have a second location. We had a pilot location in Nyamata, so we needed to open up a new location with much bigger facilities, which means much more production. So the first thing we did in the beginning, once we got the grant, was to look for an expansion site, which we were able to. And then after that, now began a whole phase of construction. We had to expand, first of all, our waste pre-processing unit, because when we bring in the waste, we try to sort it and pre-process it to remove non-organic substances like metals and plastic, and also make it in a smaller chunks which can be consumed by the flies. And then we also had to expand what we call a lavarium, which is the section whereby we feed and do the whole bioconversion. And then we also had to expand what we call an insectarium and a product processing unit. An insectarium is where we grow the insect species, and a product processing unit is where we do the packaging. And we also had to make new hires, bring in new people under 3 categories. First of all, full-time, and then we have part-time, and we also have contractors. And then we also have to do Site 2 launch, which we have not gotten there yet. And then also the last milestone for us through the program was to open up the other cycle of fundraising, which is also not open yet. Now I'm going to show you some of the things we're able to achieve through the program. From June all the way till somewhere around mid-November. That should read late November. One of the things we have spotted is a growth in business revenue. When we joined the program, we were just within the pilot phase. We were trying to understand the technicality of production within the Rwandan context. So we're able to move roughly from around 1 M in a month to roughly around 3.4 M in a month. So although not what we expected, but slightly we've been able to record some growth. And also we've also noticed been able to implement new members of the team, whereby full-time, we have now full-time 6 employees, and then we have 2 part-time employees, and also we have 4 contractual employees that come and go whenever we have a lot of work going on. And then also in terms of not just the business, but the environmental and the social impact, we've been able to increase our bioconversion capacity from roughly around 15 to 10 tons to 20 tons of food waste that we bioconvert on a monthly basis. And then also, in terms of social impact, we've been able to increase the number of farmers we work with and also help them save in terms of what they spend in fertilizer and animal feed. Now, all of these are not directly from the funding, because one thing you have to note is that we've been doing a lot of construction work for the past 6 months. Now with construction, you have to spend so much time looking for construction permits. So the site that we are constructing is not yet ready. So that means once that site launches towards early January or mid-January, that means all of these impacts that I'm mentioning right now will almost be increased by 4 times. Now, beyond the program, what we intend to do once the new site launches is 3 things. First of all is to increase our production, and this will also mean to increase our food waste bioconversion, and our target is to be able to bioconvert 80 tons of food waste monthly. And then second is to diversify waste streams, because waste is our only raw material, so we cannot rely on the few sources that we rely on right now. So we want to increase the number of areas where we get our food waste from. And then lastly, we also want to diversify our product offerings. Right now we're trading 2 products, organic fertilizer and protein biomass. But there's potential to also trade 1 more product, which is called attain/chitosan, which it comes from the insect, and it's very valuable in the medical industry, helps in medications that help with blood clotting. Now that is not a local market, it's an export market, and for you to even try to export, you need to have large quantities. Now with the new site, that's where we're hoping to go to. Now in terms of the benefits we got from the program, number 1 is to be able to establish the new production site. Before the program we had 1, but now through the program we are going to have 2 because we're constructing the second one. So that means we're able to increase our production capacity and bioconversion capacity to roughly around 80 tons a month. And then the second benefit we got from the program is strengthening our technical capacity. A big highlight of this is when we were able to work with a consultant from Indonesia, with a company called Hermetia Tech. They were able to fly in and then work with us for 1 month to strengthen our procedures and be able to optimize the entire production. Now, if you look their invoice up, you realize they're super expensive, so obviously it was not easy for us to afford that invoice on our own, and that's why the program was very important. Now, just that's a quick recap. I hope if you have any questions, I will be able to answer them, and if I can't, I can also be able to provide the answers much later on.
Thank you, Moses, and we will take some questions. Or the presentation was self-explanatory. Yes.
Thank you. I have a short question. You mentioned you create savings for the farmers on fertilizers and animal feed. Is that because you're selling them at a lower price than they would be sourcing it, or are they involved in the production?
So the kind of products that we produce, let's talk mostly with the fertilizer, relies on only one raw material, which is the organic waste. Now, maybe also a bit of packaging. Because of that, we also don't buy the waste. We just source it. So because of that, we're able to keep the costs way lower than what they would get out there. And that's why we're able to help the farmers be able to get the product at a much lower price compared to what they would get out there.
Yes.
Thanks. Great presentation. Just a small question. You mentioned in the pre-processing phase, you take away the plastics and the iron. Just wondering what you do with that waste as well.
So normally we would try as much as we can to do the sorting at the point of collection. And the people that we collect the waste from already have in mind that we're coming for the organic. So usually they would also make an effort to give us only organic. But within the facility, we also try to make sure if there's anything that we missed out, we dispose that. We don't do anything with it. We only deal with the organic. So the rest, we usually just take it out and waste collection companies deal with it.
Thanks, Moses. If you said one of your challenges is that pre-sorting, right? Has there been any discussions with, say, the city of Kigali or some of the authorities on better waste management at the point of disposing of it? Is that a conversation that's happening? And if not, perhaps something to look at. Thanks.
Thanks. We haven't explored that route, but a route we've explored is a conversation and collaboration with waste collection companies. Now, unfortunately, they were also approaching it from maybe fortunately, from a commercial perspective, and we went to them with the hopes that bring the waste to us instead of taking it to the landfills. But they were too expensive to work with, and their argument was that sorting the waste on their own is expensive, so they also have to charge us for the sorting service. Now, when you look at the quote they give us, it's much more expensive than if we just did it on our own. We're hoping that in the future we'd find somebody we can work with, but so far it's not been very positive on that route.
Thank you. Thank you, Moses, for the presentation. I will invite the next venture, UKC.
Thank you. I'm called Sylvester Jackson Carrara. I'm the managing director of UKC. UKC is simply a youth-run entity producing animal feeds by the use of special soilless technology. It's called hydroponics. We are based in Gichumbi. And welcome. It's a pleasure to introduce our production. That is our facility. What we normally do is procure grains or cereals from farmers and convert those cereals into leafy vegetative matter that we ultimately send or sell to animal keepers. So we have a problem of high population that is trending with time, while the land does not increase. As the land depletes, the population increases, and this poses danger on both crop food production and animal keeping. So how do we balance the two? We want farmers to optimize the land for crop production and use a very minimal space for animal keeping. So we solve the problem of animal feeds by optimizing a special vertical technology to produce animal feeds, which is reducing the animal feed prices currently in the market, and also ensuring that the limited land sizes is utilized for other production. Bearing in mind that latest statistics from National Institute of Statistics of Rwanda shows that 70% of Rwandese possess 0.5 acres of land, which is a very big threat to food security. So our technology is fully optimizing vertical, and there is water recycling. And from 1.7 kilos of cereals, you are able to produce up to 10 to 12 kilograms of green fodder. So instead of feeding 10 kilos per cow, you can use the same 10 kilos to produce fodder that can feed up to 8 to 10 cows. So it's becoming beneficial. The technology is soilless, and this has attracted the youth who always run away from dirty work. So the technology is very innovative, it is soilless, and because of recycling of water, we are saving up 90% water compared to conventional feeds, whereby you can get to produce 1 kilo using 2 liters of water. While in hydroponic system, you are able to use 700 milliliters to produce the same kilos. It's purely organic, there's no any additive, and we are combating methane gas, which is one of the greenhouse emissions from enteric fermentation in ruminant animals. So before we enrolled into the program, we had a very big white picture on how we can scale our production. Remember, we used to produce 6 tons per week, but we had a very big vision of supplying even to other districts because farmers were calling us on reaching out the services to them. So establishing new setups, upscaling our production capacity, increasing our skills to model and develop and grow our business has always been our passion. So how did we go? This motivated us into this program, Ignite Food Systems, and we were able to reach to some of these goals. One, we used the funding to procure more trays. These are imported equipments that we use to cultivate the raw materials into the vegetative matter. Our production is weekly. It doesn't have to wait for 4, 5, 6 months as other forage production are done. Secondly, we are scaling. We scaled our production actually from Gichumbi district, and we are serving now 6 districts. So we see there's a massive production because of the procurement of the more equipments, hydroponic kits. And we are meeting demand of all livestock. We are not only specialized in dairy, but we also have poultry, we have pigs, we have rabbits, and we are even moving sooner to fishes. And in the beginning, as I mentioned, you see the range in tons and the district that we are supplying, but we have also attracted more farmers to come and learn about feeding formulation. Farmers had the wrong perspective that a cow will only feed the largest bulky fodder at the end of the day to give you more. But we are feeding based on the body weight of the animal, and this is scientific. It has enabled them to save some more energy, procuring more feed, which is becoming a waste, and also reducing some costs that they were paying more to feed more. Our team has been capacitated with a lot of skills, business dynamics, expansion strategies, business development, leadership, monetary acquisition and management. We also have something related to record keeping. Remember, this time around we have improved our SOPs, and these are structures or procedures that each and every part of the team learns and motivates daily by using them. So it makes our services mastered by the whole team. we constructed one new greenhouse. Initially, our former greenhouse was not maximized to the potential, but we have fully optimized the first greenhouse and established a half part of the second greenhouse. And the second greenhouse has a capacity of producing 80 tons per week, unlike the first one, which has a capacity of producing up to 30 tons per week. It is the same size, only that we increased the length and the height. So, this becomes an opportunity to be producing around 120 tons per week. Our business model has enabled us to generate more income. We used to earn 3,000 USD per month, but we are clicking to slightly above 12,000 USD per month. So this is really motivating us even to involve other new infrastructure like transport. We used to be having bicycles to transport our fodder to the farmers, but we are using a lift-and motorbike, that is a tricycle motorbike, and some small cars. Animal husbandry has also come into shape, and we are keeping animals not only for training or capacity building of farmers on feeding formulation, but also we are selling some animal products like milk and eggs and live animals. This is generating some more money. We are also tapping new revenue streams like research and development, and we are happy that SNV recent engagements with UKC is giving us another room for revenue generation through research, and more focus now on farmyard manure, that is the animal dung fed on hydroponics, on the impact on fertility of the soil. So the whole chain is maximized. The pricing of the fodder initially was 150 because we were supplying only one fodder form, but now because we are mixing the formulation of both energy and proteins, the cost has been reduced up to 120. And this is giving some relaxation or relief, sign of relief to farmers. We advise farmers based on formulations, and this is giving them a competitive advantage over conventional feeds that are in the market. So we are looking forward to, the market traction. Those are the districts we are supplying. We are also getting more penetration deeper into those districts, and also new districts that are yet in pipeline. We have increased our database of farmers. These are farmers who directly buy from us on a daily basis. We have also gone further and get more farmers, especially on capacity building. And we are happy that also institutional customer-centeredness are coming in, like the University of Rwanda, like the University of Byumba, and the IPRCs are coming to learn. And these student exchanges are giving us some more money. And they were also creating a market for tomorrow, because these are farmers who will go and start animal keeping. Our production is increasing by 30%, and this is mathematical. We are having some environmental soundedness, and we want to say that our impact on cutting the methane gas out of the feed formulation that has some effects on the ecological zones of the animals is helping us scientifically to reduce those emissions, and has attracted like GG, Rwanda Global Green Growth Initiative. And being part of the Rwanda Norsken. SNV and RAB are the new partnerships that we are engaging, and RAB has been helping us on quality control and the feed formulation, total feed ratio formula software that has enabled farmers to enjoy the feed formulations. Our team has increased. There are 4 new staffs that are in place. We have 2 in the animal keeping. We have 1 more greenhouse technician, and we have also 1 for marketing. So as the team becomes bigger, service delivery becomes efficient. Some of the skills that we also learned are investment readiness by understanding the principles of documentation, the principles also on money management and resource management. We have some skills in impact measurements. We have tools that we were given by our coach on monitoring the perception and satisfaction of our customers, and understanding the customer problems. and at what angle are we going to help solve their problems. On the financial management, we have bookkeeping, and we have a software in pilot, which is going to help us to completely track all the inventory transactions. Our marketing and expansion has increased. We have now even have access to LinkedIn, and we have got some new connections and further conversations through the LinkedIn. Our social media, Twitter is increasing, and our website has increased a lot of views, and we have a lot of engagement out of these social media platforms. We have also been invited in some seminars to give some conversations and exchanges and testimonies on how we are doing. Through also the study visits hosted that we were given by partners and Impact Hub Kigali, we had some study tour visit that helped us to know which best packaging you're going to use when you do further value addition. We also learned about the feeding formulations, and we are also learning about the new misting system of irrigation, that we, instead of using manual form of irrigation, we are going to use misting, which is saving up to 98% water, and it's going to be automatic. So we are also increasing our services. You saw into those 6 new districts is because of the skills we learned through the mentorship and coaching sessions. Our ambition still remains to solve the farmer problems by giving them access to the fodder and also saving their economic returns. So this 375,000 that a farmer is saving is what really matters on our day-to-day living. We don't sleep until we see the farmer manages to save that money, and it has really given the proof. That 375 is an average income saved by a farmer per month, saved on feeding and also some new milk increase. Eggs, live weight, the poultry are gaining weight in just 35 days. You are able to sell up to 4 kgs, which is very good. We had created for 6 jobs. These are casual labor and also permanent staff. So you see, that means investment is utilized to have even an economic influence to the lowest people. We're working on those SDGs. We want to ensure that we are among those who cut hunger to 0. And we mean it. It is 0. And we are eradicating poverty, especially in the rural community, by empowering farmers, ensuring that it's good health because of combating malnutrition, and we're also strengthening the partnership between all parties in an ecosystem to ensure that a common goal is reached, because there's no man in an island. That milk, extra milk, we took just a case example of farmers we are supplying for dairy, and if they're able to have an extra 124 liters, that means extra income. And out of our tool for tracking the customer satisfaction, we realized that 98% of the current clients are satisfied with our services. This is our strategic goal: establishing new greenhouses, because the country has more potential market, and we want to reach as many farmers as possible. That means setups in at least 2 greenhouses in each district. We are looking forward to have all the districts served in Rwanda, including more awareness and campaign and marketing through all social media and mass media platforms, and even farmer-to-farmer campaigns. Agro-processing and value addition. Our fodder only has life of 5 days. It cannot go beyond 5 days. But we also procured a pelletizer machine out of this funding, and the pelletizer machine is still in pipeline. They're still working on it. In the next maybe 2 months, we'll be having it in Rwanda. And that machine will have a capacity of making green fodder into solid pellets, which will increase the formulation and also increase the longevity from 5 days up to 2 years. It's going to have a capacity of producing 4 tons per hour. So you can imagine what size of fodder we need, and also how many raw materials will be produced by farmers. Farmers will have to increase up to almost 10 times. Establishment of the animal feed shop outlets. This machine will enable us to have more packaged fodder and establish retail outlets in some points that are strategic, and make farmers also procure more fodder in packaged and well shelved over some time. We also want to become an ISO, that is International Standard Organization certification and good manufacturing practices certification as a competitive animal feed company, just like the rest. We want to ensure that we comply to good safety food, animal feed production that meets all the standards. And we want to become also an exporter of animal feed. Our investment readiness, we are calling to our action. The action is not only on UKC, but everyone on board. We are moving from 5 districts we are currently serving, and we are looking forward to the next 25 districts to make all the 30 districts of Rwanda. We will make it, absolutely.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you, Jackson, for the cheerful presentation. I will take some questions before we hear from the last presentation.
Thank you very much for the presentation. I really liked the enthusiasm and the ability to expand from the 5 districts to 25. I think also when you spoke about expanding to other animals, by weight, by poultry, even going into fisheries, that's also impressive. Sure. I remember when we started out, you were a cooperative. Does that still stand? And how have you taken that forward in terms of now are you a company? Because of course ISO and all of that. That was one question. The other one was about logistics. How do you actually transport? You said you went from bikes to small cars or motorbikes, but is that sustainable if you really want to move to 25 districts? Thank you.
Thank you so much. Let me start first with profiling, whether a cooperative or a company. We got a privilege to attend the AGRF conference, and out of that, we were able to meet some potential investors, and they were looking forward to the company rather than the cooperative. And from that angle also, out of the coaching and mentorship programs, we saw the need of empowering the company rather than the cooperative. And finally, we are even working with RDB, and we are profiling the company now, and we are establishing the systems in place. In just a few 2-3 months from now, we'll be fully operating as a company. And this is also going to give some opportunities for venturing and also giving some form of competition in terms of investment, because every stakeholder in a company will want to see that their investment gives back returns, and it's going to get more bigger impact rather than a cooperative. Yes. So for the second question, it's about the logistics. Yeah, we're working well with the tricycles, especially on the deeper routes where there are no access to open roads, and it works well with the tricycle. We also have small cars on some areas because our district is diverse. We have on the northern part of Eastern Province and the lower part of Eastern Province, the bigger part that has the access to small cars, but already we engage with Eronji, and I'm happy that, yes, I'm happy they're here. Our conversation is yet to yield something. We were understanding about how often, what size, and what ratio are we going to give so that the farmer does not get the ultimate price of paying more. So we are at a good point. Besides Eronji, we are also engaged with OLX, who are also part of our ventures in the preliminary stage. So we are making comparisons, and finally we shall reach to one.
Thank you. It's good to see the interactions between the different groups, so thanks for that.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jackson, for the presentation. I wanted to ask, with the pelletizer machine that's on the way and the vision to expand to different districts and also potentially scale outside of Rwanda, do you see a potential challenge in how you will be sourcing the raw materials? Provided the limited maybe availability in the country.
Wonderful. I think the Ukraine-Russia crisis has given us a very good moral lesson. And it has really enabled us to understand the potential within the country. So what we've done is work with other agencies like RAB. We have organized farmer cooperatives. We are ensuring that we are giving them at a very good subsidy cost compared to middlemen who go and procure from them directly. So with that extra 120 francs that they're giving to us, it gives them a motivation of producing more. So what we need to do is to guarantee all those farmers through open agreements that they're going to be producing for our scale. And we are going to ensure that there's a lot of cohesiveness in terms of quality. As aflatoxin, Avaclos are working on aflatoxin management, we reach to those more cooperatives to produce bulky that are safe and which are going to be useful. So there is a big market potential by mainstreaming those cooperatives and animal groups, farmer groups, to produce more. We are not worried of raw materials in the next 2 years. Yes.
Thank you, Jackson. Thank you very much for the presentation. Is everyone still feeling energized? Yes, yes. We have one final presentation and we'll get into another fan activity. I will invite Lise.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Lise Janvier Amizel-Dihozo, and I work for Zine. Let me take you back in the history of Zine and how we got to get here. Zine started in 2018 doing the banana trading. We were buying bananas from the farmers and we were looking for the market for those bananas. But as you may know, banana fruits are highly perishable, so it was not easy for us to get the market for all the bananas we were receiving from the farmers. In that time, we were losing money. Even the farmers, they were losing money. They were becoming hungry, not because they don't have what to sell, but because what they were producing didn't have a market. So that's the idea of producing banana chips came from. Now we have a processing company, a processing factory, which processes banana chips from bananas. We are working more with farmers because our production capacity is 8,000 kilograms of bananas in a day. So it's a lot of bananas. It's a lot of raw materials we want so that we can work on our full capacity. That's where we engage even more with the farmers by doing banana micropropagation, where we give the farmers banana seedlings of high variety, and in that case they get more revenues from their bananas, and they even get the market from banana chips factory, which gives them more money. And we are also enhancing the green environment. Early this year, we joined the program, Ignite Food Systems. We wanted to become a sustainable food industry. We wanted to engage more with the other people who share the same ambitions with us, which is to reduce food insecurity. We also wanted to scale and even more to get the technical and financial support so that we can optimize the supply chain. Our initial plan during this journey, during this program, we wanted to buy more factory equipments because the one we had were not working on their full potential, which I'm going to explain more in the coming slides. We also wanted to increase the banana rehabilitation, to get the national certifications, also provide the training for the team, and sales and marketing. The program helped us a lot as a business because we have been able to buy new factory equipments, which increased our production capacity from 200 to 700 kilograms of chips per day. If I can say more about this, we have a flyer, which we used to have one flyer which uses gas. And it requires a lot of gas and a lot of oil so that it can operate. The one which is able to produce 8,000 kilograms of bananas per day. So with Ignite Food System Challenge, we have been able to get another fryer, which is in our favor because it uses electricity. with that one, we can produce up to 700 kilograms of a day, because that's what we can be able to sell for now. Also, the program helped us to have a food laboratory. As you know, every food industry has to have a laboratory so that you can test the quality of what you are giving to the market. With the program, we have been able to avail the food laboratory and its equipment. We have been also connected with an expert in branding and design who helped us to rebrand our package. I'm going to show you later the package we will be using once we get the certifications, which is different from the one we used to have. We also know that for the food company to have the Rwanda FDA approval, there are some requirements. So in some of them, there is to improve our infrastructure so that it can comply with the requirements of Rwanda Food and Drugs Authority. In terms of the market, we have been also connected with an expert during the program who helped us to develop a marketing tool. And also the team has been linked with an expert who made a food safety manual. As the people who work in the food industry, we have to know what food safety means and how we can apply the food safety in our everyday production so that we produce more safe food. We have also been able to introduce Imele banana chips online. As the world is going digital, it's easier to be found online than to be found when someone comes to you. It's easier online. So because we have been linked with an expert in social media management, he has helped us to understand the importance of social media in our everyday activities as a business company. Also, due to the funding we have got, we have been able to do the advertisement on road shows, which helped us to gain more customers. If I can say, the individuals are more than 1,000, but we have been able to get more customers who are businesses. We have gained 8 more shops from Musanze, 3 shops from Nyabihu, and 1 from Rubavu, and now they are selling our product. As you can see, there is the evolution of our packaging. That's the one we are using now. I think you can spot the difference. Yeah. This is the one we will be using once we get the certifications. That one explains more the importance of having banana chips in your table, because with those banana chips, you're not helping us as a company, but a farmer who is growing those bananas. Also, the program has helped us as a team, because we have received different coaching and master classes. We have been able to know social media and use it for marketing purposes. We also came to understand our customers and staff needs so that we can have a better working environment, even the good relationship with our customers. We also know how to present to our investors so that they can give us what we need. We have also had a masterclass on impact measurement, and from there we have been able to formulate our social goals, even economic goals, so that they will guide us in the coming days. The team has also been trained on food safety management, because everyone in the food industry has to know, if I can say, the basics, but they are not the basics, like everything, because we have a food safety manual and we have been trained on food safety management. We have even grown as a team because of the the class we had and the coachings, we have been able to spot a gap which was there in our team, and we hired 3 new people who joined the team in sales and marketing. On the side of impact, we have been able to increase the monthly revenue for farmers. If I can explain more on this, before we were producing 200 kilograms of chips per day, but now it's even more than 700 kilograms, which means that we are receiving more raw materials than we used to. The farmers are giving us more bananas than they used to give to us. So that's why their revenue has increased. Even on the post-harvest loss, before some bananas were not able to get the market, but now, because the market is somehow big, we have been able to reduce the post-harvest losses. Also, the program helped us to train 428 farmers, where 428 farmers, where 291 of them are women, on the best banana harvesting practice. The problem we were trying to solve here is on post-harvest losses. Some of the bananas were being lost, not because of anything else, but because they have been handled not well. So we have been able to train those farmers who will train the others, even as we will continue to train more on the best harvest handling practices, so that they can have a good produce, and even for us as a banana processing factory, we will get the best quality bananas. We have been also able to give out 60,100 kilograms of organic manure and planted 656 banana seedlings of high yield variety to facilitate our production. We wanted more bananas, and the program enabled us through funds to give those manure to the farmers, because it was not, in the area where we work in, it's not very easy for the farmers to get the organic manure. Our scaling plan for the next 6 months is to secure the SMAC and Rwanda FDA approval. That's the first one, and it's ongoing. I can say that we are on like 80% of getting that certification. If we get that, we will approach more markets, especially here in Kigali and even abroad. We want also to introduce other flavors for banana chips. And we want to invest more in circular economy, where we can produce organic manure from the banana peels which we use in our factory. If I can say, like the missing piece of the puzzle so that we can get to where we want to go for now is the certification, is the SMAC and Rwanda FDA approval. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Lise, for the presentation, and we'll take some time for some questions.
Great. Thank you so much for that presentation, and it's been so exciting to see your journey throughout the last 6 months. I have one question about your scale-up plan. As it's very interesting, the kind of post-harvest loss reduction emphasis is rooted into your business model. And I'm wondering, do you have plans to scale up or include other commodities that are susceptible to post-harvest loss in this kind of value addition production scheme?
Thank you so much. Mm-hmm. For the next 6 months, it's only on banana processing, but we also want to invest in circular economy, where we don't want any loss. Like the oil we use, it's getting lost. So we want to see if we can make soaps or even lotion from that oil so that we can expand more. Thank you so much.
Very exciting. We look forward to watching that unfold as well. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Lise, for the great presentation. It's been exciting to hear about all the ventures and their journey throughout this last 6 months of the acceleration phase. But there is more to it. We have a fair going on, so feel free to go around, see some of the products that we're talking about, ask any more questions that you might have during the fair. And there'll be some finger foods and drinks going around, as well as some live music. Let's all network and enjoy the rest of the evening. Thank you so much. Thanks. For everyone who's wondering, we have Call Group and Afla Kiosk on the upper side. We have Zine and Ironji in this room. Then we have Mago Farm right where the camera is. And we have UKC on this side of the room as well. Feel free to go around. Thanks.
Prisonnier volontaire. Quand je t'aime, tous mes gestes me ramènent à tes lèvres ou à tes bras, à l'amour avec toi. Quand je t'aime, il est minuit ou midi, en enfer.
far away. Now I know that I don't need to stay. Oh, I believe in yesterday. Suddenly, life isn't easy. Gotta play hard. There's a shadows hanging over me. Oh, I believe in yesterday. Now she have to go out of me through that wall. Another night have to go out of me for yesterday. no sunshine where she's gone. It's not warm when she's away. Ain't no sunshine where she's gone. It's not warm when she's away. Ain't no sunshine when she's gone. She's always gone too long. Anytime she goes away. Wonder this time where she's gone. Wonder if she's gonna stay. Wonder this time where she's gone and wonder if she's gonna stay. In the sunshine, she's gone, and she's always gone too long. Anytime she goes away. Ain't no sunshine, she's gone, and she's always gone too long. Anytime, yeah, she goes away. Wonder this time where she's gone. Wonder if she's gonna stay. Wonder this time where she's gone. Wonder if she's gonna stay. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And the sunshine, she's gone, and she's always gone too long. Anytime, yeah, she goes away. Ain't no sunshine, she's gone, and she's always gone too long. Anytime, yo, she goes away. sunshine where she's gone without me. There's no one where she's where. In the sunshine where she's gone. There's no one where she's away. In the sunshine where she's gone. Yeah. There's no one where she's away. In the sunshine she's gone. She's always gone too long. Anytime she goes away. Summertime and the living is easy. Fish are jumping and curtains are. Your daddy's rich and your mama is good looking. So hush, little baby, don't you cry. Summertime, summertime, and the living is easy.